Yo, what is up everyone? Welcome back to a brand new video. Alright, so it's not a let's play. We have for you today a review of Rainy Day. I feel like I've played the server long enough now to be able to sit here and just discuss what I think is good and bad about the server, improvements that could be made, and so on. So let's go ahead and start talking about the stuff that I like about the server. So what I like about the server, the study progress. So if we go on to /studies, and let's go on to Underworld, for example, and mobs. Obviously, with all of the studies, there's a progression, and you can unlock the next mob by killing X amount of the previous mob. For example, I love that idea. It gives you something to grind towards. It gives you something to aim for, as well as in the studies as well. If we go to the Earth one, for example, let's go or redstone. Nope, iron. Yeah, there we go. So once you reach expert on iron, you unlock an infinite bucket, which I think is really good about this server. But once you've unlocked the next ore, you don't just have to stop there. You can continue grinding that specific ore to then unlock more stuff that you would need for that island. And that's the same across all of them, whether it be husks, ocelots, everything. There's always something else there for you to unlock. And I think that is brilliant for this server. There's always something to do, always something to grind towards, which I love. So what else is there? There's the making custom sets. Obviously you can have a lot of sets. I mean, we've got a few sets. We've got sets there, and then we've also got more sets here, to which, you know, again, we've got even more sets. We've got all these max scales in here to make even more sets. So you're not just making one set and that's it, you're done. You know, you can make multiple sets depending on what you want to do. So you can make a set per study if you like. You can make one for farming, you can make one for mining, you can make one for slaying, you can make one for fishing. If we go to my fishing area, here we go. You can make one for fishing. There's sets to be made across all of the studies, such as this one, you know. It's got the fishing attributes on it. It's got other stuff on there because there's particular stuff to do for certain reasons. To which maybe I'll go into that in more detail in a future video. But yeah, there's always something to do, which is fantastic. I love that about this server. So having the ability to make 6 different sets, that gives you something to grind towards as well. It gives you something to do, something to aim for. The scales side of things, so when you're going on Clash, you know, you've got all of these different scales that all do different things, and obviously you can only have a certain amount of scales per armor piece. So therefore it forces you to then go ahead and make another set, and then another set, and another set. Let's take woodcutting for example. So woodcutting provides a 0.25% chance per level to increase woodcutting drops. Now on this server, woodcutting is a good money making method. So a lot of the competent islands will spend 18 plus hours a day just cutting down trees, selling them and making as much money as they possibly can. And having that woodcutting would obviously help with that. Alright, let's talk about another feature that I absolutely love, and more servers should do this. And that is attribute points. Obviously with the attribute points you start off on 0, so you've got strength, you've got dexterity, you've got stamina, and you've got intelligence. So if you hover over your attribute points here, obviously you get attribute points anyway because the enchanted, farming, fishing, grinding, mining, slaying, special, and wood cutting. There's others as well, but that depends on scales that you have. And obviously you've got dexterity, intelligence, stamina, strength. So you have to be particular to where you put your points and apply your points, and that is also dependent on what it is you want to do. For example, if you're someone on the island that's mining, you're going to want to put your attribute points into stamina. Whereas for me, I put mine into strength and dexterity, and the reason I put mine into that is because I am a slayer, woodcutter / dungeoneer person. I do a lot of slaying and I do a lot of dungeons. I do the woodcutting as well, but not so much recently. But yeah, I put mine into that just because dexterity means you can kill haste mobs a lot quicker, which haste mob means pretty much any mob on your island. Another good thing that they do on this server is they do a weekly comp. So weekly leaderboards, weekly things that you can take part in to earn cloud coins, which is their currency on here. So if we do /leaderboards, and we go on to dungeons, solo, and then we look at these, in particular, these. You can see that I'm top 10 on that one and top 10 on this one, and that is because they've done a speed running comp, which the fastest time for the top 3 people get rewards. So obviously, you know, I tried to get top 3. So doing weekly comps like that gives you something to work towards, something to aim for as well. Just a little friendly competition between you and the rest of the people in the server to where you could earn in-game currencies from that. So I love the fact they do that. They do 3 different types each week, and you know, it's always good. It could be most ore mined, it could be most tree cut, it could be most farming done. It could be a number of different stuff. There's no limitation to what they can do with that. So it is really nice to just to see weekly comp that everybody can take part in. Okay, then we have this area here, which is Clash. And if you don't know what Clash is, Clash, pretty much you come in here, you farm your resources, you get stuff like this, to which is tier 1. Then you change that into tier 2, 3 and 4 to then go ahead and make your custom set. Well, not only that, just in case it wasn't perfect timing enough, they have the Ender Dragon that spawns in here, which is a mini boss, if you like. You kill the Ender Dragon and then you get scales from that. If you want to get more scales, then what you do is, if we go into scales, you want to start making yourself a bossing set. Once you have all that, you'll start getting even more scales. Okay, so now let's move on to the things that I don't particularly like. Now, obviously, everybody is welcome to their opinion. Everyone has their own views on this. This is just my personal thoughts, my personal opinion on what I don't like about this server. And it's not so much things I don't like. I think like there's just a couple things that could be adjusted just to make things better, if you like. So, for example, let's go into /shop. Now, for me, personally, I do not like that the study items are in the shop. Like you got your trees, you got all your crops, you can buy your spawners, you know, you can just buy anything that you need to help you progress faster through the studies. For me personally, I like things to be difficult, I like a grind, and I would quite like the items to be removed from the shop and added into loot pools. Now, how they go about doing that obviously is down to them. They could stick that in dungeons and give us a reason to do dungeons. But then they could also bring in a new thing. For an example, there is a server that I used to play called Cosmic Sky, and they used to have things called island quests. Those island quests were slaying, farming, mining, and fishing. So a lot of the same as what these studies are on here. Basically, it give you a slaying mission, you complete that, and from that you would get rewards, and those rewards would help you progress through your journey. Now, they could do something similar to that here. They could call it study research, for example. You would complete the research and your reward would be whatever the loot pool they decide, but including the items from the /shop. So you could take away the spawners, you could take away the crops, you could take away the wood. You know, you could take away all of that stuff out of shop, put it into loot pools, and then comp would change drastically, as it wouldn't be about who's got the biggest bank card, who's got the most amount of money, who can buy the most amount of in-game money. You know, it would then be more about grinding. You'd have to grind to get the resources for you to be able to progress through the studies quicker. So that would also help with player eco as well. So AH, for an example, players would be able to list those resources onto AH, and we would determine the price of them, and obviously that would fluctuate or go up, go down, depending on obviously the players. So I feel like that would be something that would be amazing to do for this server. Remove the study items from the shop and put them into loot pools. Now let's talk about something else. Clash. Now, I don't know if you've seen or if you've played. You probably have. I can't show you right now. But there is a new item, new thing that has recently been added, which is called streaks. Now, streaks are excellent, really good. It really helps the free-to-play player get a chance to begin to obtain these special scales, such as the black scales, the rainbows, or the specialist ones. Now, they're really good, but here's what I don't like about it. If you're not in the top 5, you lose your streak. And there is a few people on the server that will see certain individuals are on a streak or getting close to getting their streak, then they will come over here, they will get top 5, knock that person out of the top 5, and then leave. Which, you know, I think is a bit petty, a bit stupid, shouldn't be a thing. So, although streak is amazing, in the sense of it helps free-to-play players be able to actually get good stuff. For example, here, as you can see, you got Panda, which is on the 36 streak. So he stands more of a chance at getting rarer scales, such as like Panda just got an enchanter. He didn't get that through the top 5, but it increases your chance of getting them. So that's really good for the free-to-play players. But all it takes is for 2 people, for example, that see, I don't know, Ducky here, for example, is on a 22 streak, you finish 5th, right, let's go over there and let's knock him off. And this has happened a few times to me. I've seen people get close to 100 streaks, and then the people are just like, hell nah, and they come and take them off of that streak. I don't know what they could potentially do about that. Maybe the streak doesn't necessarily have to be top 5. Maybe everyone that takes part or participates in the Dragon could keep their streak, regardless of whether they finish top 5 or not. But the rewards differ depending on where you place in the leaderboard. So if you place top 5, you have more of a chance to get special items. Whereas if you're in, I don't know, the top 100, then you have 0.0001 chance at getting one. But you still have a chance to get a special item. So for me, I feel like keeping your streak, regardless whether you're in top 5 or not, should be a thing. But obviously the people that are in the top 5 should be rewarded for being in the top 5. All right, so on my next topic of conversation, Staff Islands, should we say. It's not really so much Staff Islands, it's just the topic that I'm giving it. But staff playing the game. Now, I don't think staff shouldn't be allowed to play the game. I feel like staff should be able to play, but with obviously limitations, or shouldn't be considered or be able to enter comp. Now, there is a few reasons behind that. Obviously, you guys can make your own mind up, make your own opinion and whatnot. That's fine. So, staff members as a whole, I feel like they shouldn't be in comp. Now, the main reason for that is obviously the staff members, they do a lot of the testing. They do a lot of the background work to help the server, to balance things, and etc, etc. So, what comes with that? Well, what comes with that is they learn the metas, they know the strats, they know everything that they need to do to be able to comp to give them that edge above everybody else. Now, obviously, the staff members and stuff, they won't be like, yeah, well, we get an edge, you know, not much we can do about it, we need to test the stuff. Then that's absolutely fine, that is correct. Yes, they do need to test the stuff, but the answer really is, should they really comp? And for me, personally, I feel like staff should not be allowed to comp. The staff team should be able to play, yes, 100%, but they should not be allowed to comp. That is just my personal views. Again, you can disagree, agree. That's up to you guys. You lot are all welcome to your opinion, just the same as what I am. That's just my thought process of that. All right, so the last topic of conversation I want to discuss is comp. I think competition on this server is stale, very boring, very basic. Basically, all comp is money. You put money into your island bank every week, and those people will comp and get rewarded for that. I think that's very old, not with like the times, very basic. It just needs to be somewhat different, somewhat changed. It shouldn't be about money, as a lot of people will just, you know, get their bank card out, go and buy the monthly crate or the anniversary crate, get the current case that's worth a lot of money, sell that, then get their money for that and put that money into their island. Then you do also have other teams that will literally just sit there and grind 24 hours a day of trees, selling them trees and putting the money into the bank. Now, to me, and if you're obviously not new to this channel, you know that I love comping. I absolutely love competitive play, whether that's Minecraft, Apex, Call of Duty, FIFA, whatever it may be. I like to compete in a lot of things. But yeah, I've got no interest in competing on this server for that reason. It's too basic, too boring. I have no interest in that whatsoever. So I do have a few ideas floating around in my head of what I think comp could do. For an example, they could have rainy day points. How you'd earn these points is via doing your studies, for example. Let's say slaying, for an example, just slaying away. And then you have the chance to find rainy day points. And that number could be between 1 and 15. You'll get a random amount of points from that reward from slaying. And that points will go to your island's rainy day points. Then, all of a sudden, comp becomes more about grinding rather than money. You know, who can outgrind the other island? I feel like more people would then be able to compete. More people would take part in competing, as there's a good few people on the server that are well known for spending a lot of money on the server, and obviously that's down to them to do. They don't have to do that. It's completely up to them, and you know, I'm not taking anything away from any of those players that do. If I was in the financial position to do the same, I probably would. But I don't think that's how comp should be ran. It shouldn't be about money. So having the ability to outgrind other people, that's a W. If I could sit here mining, slaying, farming, fishing, cutting down trees and potentially earn points. Maybe there could be rewards for each dungeon run as well. You get X amount of points. When you get into Clash, you could, every top 5 member or every person in the top 5 would earn X amount of points. So first could earn 10 points, second would earn 8 points, third would earn 6 points, and so on. They're just rewards for grinding rather than just money. So yeah, that's my thoughts and opinions. Now please don't get me wrong with this video. This is literally just a review, if you like. I love this server. I've been playing it non-stop. Let me check my playtime real quick actually. So that's playtime. 32 days and 8 hours this season. And that I feel like pretty good, you know. I'm also running my Let's Play account. So I'm not only just playing on my main here, I am also playing on my Let's Play. So I love the server. There's just a few things here that I would change personally myself. I have made a suggestion. I have spoken to one of the owners about it. I sent them a document. I'm sure they love that. But yeah, I just feel like there's stuff here that they could change to make it more adaptable for everybody. I feel like it could improve the player count as well. Not that it's got a bad player count at all, but I feel like it could do so much better, especially with changing how comp works. So yeah, that is my thoughts and my opinions on Rainy Day as a whole. Amazing server. Just lacks a little bit of content here and there that they could change, mainly PvP. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and your opinions down in the comments. I'm really interested to see what people think. Obviously, with what I've said, what your thoughts are, what your opinions are. Also, there's my Discord as well. Go ahead and join that. If you want to talk to me in there about what any of my suggestions were, then feel free to do so, or even reach out in the DMs. I will get to them when I get to them. But yeah, feel free to reach out. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone. Appreciate you all. Enjoy your rainy day. I'll catch you on that one. Thank you and goodbye.